Welcome to the Friday edition of AM Sports here on the JoyNews channel with me, Benedict Osu, and my colleague Selwyn Saki. Well, today is, of course, preview day, and we're going to look at matches that we played in the major European leagues. We'll discuss that with the top liner this weekend in England, being the game involving Manchester City and Chelsea. We'll look at the chances of both teams going into that game, and also take a look at what is happening in terms of the English Premier League table. Emiliano Salah's body has been found. We have some story to tell you about that. But we start here on the local scene, and for the very first time since the airing of the Anas Arimiao and Nazis expose, former President Kwesi Nyantakyi has spoken. Now, according to him, some members within the Football Association sponsored Anas an amount of $400,000 to destroy him. He also adds that the Tiger PI organization is a criminal organization. He spoke to Accra-based FM station on Man FM.
You know, the kind of work he does, he behaves like ISIS, the ISIS team.
I get you.
You don't meet him. You meet only one person. I met only Ahmed. I never met Anas or any other person from his outfit. And then at the end of their so-called investigations, Anas and Tiger Eye claimed responsibility for the outcome of the investigation. You don't meet them. That's how they do their work. I never met him. Meanwhile, he claims that he did this, he did that, that he met me at Dubai airport. He did this. Tiger Eye is a criminal organization. They don't have a license to do what they are doing. They are not licensed to do what they are doing.
Well, so that was former Ghana Football Association President Kwesi Nyantakyi speaking for the very first time since the airing of the Anas Arimiao Nazis expose into football corruption. Now, Selwyn, how well do you know wrestling?
Well, wrestling is something that we've been watching when we were kids. Not really at the moment, but it was one of the sports that we really enjoyed when we were kids.
So you still know some of the guys, the notable names?
Of course. Yeah. How would you forget people like Undertaker or John Cena or Big Show or the Great Khali? Definitely not. It's an interesting sport that we always enjoy. Okay,
so of course, Selwyn has mentioned some of the names, and the sport which most of us, when growing up, we saw as a violent form of boxing. Well, Selwyn has already mentioned the likes of John Cena, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and the huge Great Khali, as well as Undertaker. But over the years, new stars have emerged in wrestling. Well, young Omani New Opeti tells us what we are all missing in the game of wrestling now.
Brock Lesnar had a match against Finn Balor at the Royal Rumble, and Finn Balor tapped out to Brock Lesnar in the Kimura lock. Finn Balor gave him the coup de grace, went on for the 3 count, but immediately Brock Lesnar kicked out at the 2 count. He entered the Kimura lock, and Finn Balor had to tap, almost breaking his shoulder off. So then Seth Rollins won the Royal Rumble match, the 30 men over the top match, and he's made his decision to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship.
So this is WWE?
Yes, that's for the Raw side.
Okay, and the SmackDown, what is happening in SmackDown?
SmackDown, Daniel Bryan has thrown the championship, the WWE Championship, in the trash, claiming a wood one is a proper championship. So, AJ Styles, his enemy for a long time now, came out and didn't want him throwing the WWE Championship around in the trash and things like that. So, then Jeff Hardy and some other people like Samoa Joe, Jeff Hardy, and Mustafa Ali came out, and they were like fighting. And then Daniel Bryan was out, claiming that he'll be the champion forever. And then Triple H appeared on the screen saying that he will not be defending against any one of those superstars, but defending.
All right, so young Omani Ni Opoti telling us, you know, what we are all missing. And so, I mean, I think it would be nice to go back and watch as we used to do back in the day.
Oh yeah, definitely. There are a lot of beautiful storylines when it comes to wrestling because people were always thinking whether it's real or it's fake. But most of the fights looked like they were fixed, and that was where the controversy was coming in. But it was a very interesting thing was to come where he was mentioning series like the Royal Rumble, the division between the Raw team and the SmackDown team. Wrestling is divided into two teams, so you either sign for Raw or the SmackDown team. So that's what he was mentioning and all that. And most of the fighters, the best fighters are normally Raw, and then maybe the fringe ones are in SmackDown. But then when they have other competitions like that seasonally, they play the Royal Rumble. They have things like TLC, whereby TLC where you can use tables, ladders, and chairs to fight. Yeah. So it's something very interesting that everybody should jump on.
Do you know who was using hustle, loyalty, respect?
No, who was that?
John Cena. All right, so that's the story of wrestling. We have to move on and talk, do some more in terms of sports. Now, Ghana will be involved in a make-or-break game tomorrow with Mali at the ongoing African Youth Championship in Niger. Now, the Black Starlights must win or at least draw to stand a chance of progressing to the next stage of the championship, as well as qualify for the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. And pressure, of course, is on Coach Jimmy Cobley and his players to achieve that feat following Ghana's absence at the last edition of the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. All right, so the Black Starlights game is tomorrow in Niger. So the final group game, they play against Mali. The winner, of course, will join already qualified Senegal to the next stage of the competition and also become the second team to book qualification to the FIFA Under-20 World Cup, which will be hosted in Poland. Well, now we have to focus on the English Premier League. A lot of matches to look forward to this weekend, of course, with the attention at the Etihad Stadium, where Chelsea are traveling to play against Manchester City. Top of the league, can they continue to stay on top of the Premier League, or this weekend we'll see changes there? In terms of the analysis, we'll do the analysis, but before that we have a preview to that game.
Well, definitely. So we can talk about the fixtures, and the early kickoff has to be Fulham versus Man United at Craven Cottage. After that, we have Crystal Palace will be hosting West Ham at Selhurst Park, which is a London derby. Huddersfield versus Arsenal. Liverpool versus Bournemouth. Southampton go head-to-head with Cardiff. Watford will be playing against Everton. Brighton versus Burnley. Spurs versus Leicester City. Manchester City versus Chelsea. Then we finish up on Monday with Wolves and Newcastle.
So no matter how you look at it, that game between Man City and Chelsea is a big one, of course. At the Etihad Stadium, City will be hoping to get all 3 points to stay on top of the Premier League. And for Chelsea, they still want to make the top 4 this season with Arsenal and the likes breathing on their neck. So in terms of what to expect, how big is this game?
Definitely, it's a big one, even without even a title to be up for grabs. Manchester City and Chelsea have a strong rivalry between them. They've won each other, they've lost, and it's a big tight game between them. City themselves have 3 points to grab because they have Liverpool breathing down their necks, and they have to keep up the bay at the top. Chelsea as well will be looking for Champions League spots, and that's where the toughness is coming from. Both teams have good tactical football. Guardiola is going to possess. Chelsea with a Sarri ball. It's a spectacle to be expected.
With Manchester City having lost the first leg at Stamford Bridge, you think that City this time probably maybe will go for revenge, or is going to be Chelsea win?
Well, I see City taking this because Etihad, first of all, they want it more than Chelsea. Chelsea doesn't look like they have the confidence to be playing against Manchester City at this time at the Etihad. But they themselves also have the Champions League to be thinking about. Sarri needs to motivate his boys, and he needs to keep up the consistency in his team. That's just very important for them. But for Man City, it's all about the trophy to grab.
And of course, the Liverpool-Bournemouth game at Anfield, definitely the Reds will go in hard. The boys from the Vitality end.
Definitely, because already Bournemouth have been able to score teams like Chelsea. So Liverpool will be having that to think about. Eddie Howe's got these youngsters to be playing very good football, and Liverpool also be drawing with the recent games that we've seen against Leicester City, against West Ham. Bournemouth is something that they wouldn't be looking at down at all, because Bournemouth is on form. They're in the top 10, and they're going to give Liverpool some competition. All
right, so this weekend it's not just English Premier League matches that will happen. We also will see action in the Spanish La Liga as well as the Serie A. If Selwyn will take us through what to expect in terms of the fixtures?
Well, in the Serie A, we have Valladolid versus Villarreal, which is happening tonight. Getafe versus Celta Vigo. Atletico Madrid versus Real Madrid in the Madrid derby. Espanyol versus Vallecano. Girona versus Huesca. Leganes will be playing against Betis. Valencia against Real Sociedad. Sevilla, Eibar, Atletico Bilbao versus Barcelona. Then Alaves versus Levante.
All right, so great games in the Spanish La Liga. Barca definitely will be hoping to bounce back to winning ways after that draw last weekend. And of course, Serie A as well. Parma in their last game against Juventus ended in a draw, 3-3 draw. What's happening this weekend, Owen?
Well, Kiev will be playing against AS Roma, Fiorentina, also with Napoli. Parma will be playing against Inter Milan. Bologna versus Genoa. Atlanta against Spal. Sampdoria go against Frosinone. Torino, Udine. Sassuolo versus Juventus. Then AC Milan versus Cagliari.
Okay, so that's the Serie A for you as well. So the followers of the Italian Serie A this weekend, great games to look forward to there as well. Now, the body recovered from the wreckage of a crashed plane is that of Cardiff City player Emiliano Sala. Now, this is according to the Dorset Police, and my colleague Ashabi Diakon has more in the following report.
Salah, 28, was traveling to Cardiff in a plane piloted by David Ibbotson, which went missing over the English Channel on January 21. The Argentina's body was recovered late on Wednesday after the wreckage was found on Sunday morning. Dorset police confirmed the identification on Thursday night. The body was spotted in the wreckage of the plane on Monday, and the authorities were able to recover it 2 days later, despite challenging conditions. The Air Accident Investigation Branch said the operation had been carried out as dignified a way as possible, and the men's families were kept updated throughout. The Geo Ocean 3, which was involved in finding the wreckage, took the body back to the nearest port of Portland in Dorset, where the body was formally identified.
Very, very sad story there. But in terms of what Cardiff City, which would have been his new club, they've released a statement, and Seven has a copy of that statement and will take us through.
Well, Cardiff City have issued a statement concerning Emiliano Sala on their official website, and it says, "It is with great sadness that we report the following statement issued on February 7, 2019 by the Dorset Police. The body brought to Portland Port today, Thursday, 7 February 2019, has been formally identified by HM Coroner for Dorset as that of professional footballer Emiliano Sala. The families of Mr. Sala and the pilot David Ibbotson have been updated with this news and will continue to be supported by specially trained family liaison officers. We offer our most heartfelt sympathies and condolences to the family of Emiliano. He and David will forever remain in our thoughts. Everyone of the Premier League, sincere condolences to the family of Emiliano, and our thoughts are with the loved ones of David."
Tributes have been pouring in for the departed Emiliano Sala, and definitely will bring you more in terms of that in our subsequent sports bulletins. All right, so that's how we end sports this morning here on the show. Thanks so much for your time. Join us at 2 on Sports today. There will be more on, with my colleague Nathan Lato. I'm Benedict Usu. My colleague Seven Saki joined me. We are back on Monday with more. Enjoy your weekend and pray that your team will win. I want Liverpool to win. I'm sure Seven wants Manchester United to win as well.
Of course.
Or a draw.
Of course, it has to be a win because the winning run needs to go on.
And William Walker wants Chelsea to win, which will be impossible. They will lose to Manchester City. Thanks so much for your company.